Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Get Your Ass Up and Move Fitness and Nutrition podcast. I am your host, peta-gay Barrett with Barrett Fitness, and on this podcast, we discuss fitness, nutrition, overall health, and overall well-being. Does cooking my vegetables cause vitamin loss? Based on my lifestyle, what vitamin deficiency can I be looking out for? I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling run down. I feel stressed out. Does this mean I'm deficient in vitamins? Does vitamins provide energy? I exercise frequently. Doesn't that mean I need to take a lot of vitamins? What food groups offer the most vitamins? So on this week's podcast, you guys, and over the next couple of weeks, we will be talking about vitamins. And these are some of the questions that I will answer for you. But before we get into that, you all, let me put out a couple of facts about vitamins. Vitamins by themselves do not boost energy, or they do not provide energy by themselves. Vitamins actually help the body to get energy from the foods that we eat, mainly our carbohydrate, our fats, and our protein, which are our macronutrients. So by themselves, vitamins are not energy boosters, or they're not energy providers. They actually help the body to get the fuel from, or the energy from, the food that we eat. Is it true that in times of stress you need more vitamins than normal? This can in some cases be true. What this depends on, what type of stress are we talking about? Now, there is physical stress, example, injury, or you've been through some kind of surgery, or something like that. And in those cases, the body increases its need for energy. But when we're talking about emotional stress, such as anxiety or fear, the body does not need more energy. The body does not use more energy, utilize more energy when we go through emotional stress. You use the same amount of energy when you're going through emotional stress as you would, as I would sitting down having this conversation with you. So that question is true in some cases. Yes, when your body is going through physical stress, for example, if you've gone through a surgery, if you've been in an accident, you've had an injury or something like that, then the body increases its need for energy. But in emotional stress, fear, anxiety, and so forth, your body does not increase its need for energy. It is true that physical activity requires energy, and vitamins are needed to help the body extract the energy from the food that we eat. The food we eat contains vitamins, so in most cases, we get the vitamins that we need from the food that we eat, particularly if we are making healthy food choices, such as whole grains, fruits and vegetables, lean meat, such as your salmon, healthy fatty foods. And these foods provides the energy that you need, or the vitamins that you will need, as we think we get energy from vitamins. So I would recommend checking your diet before you check your vitamins. In most cases, you guys, we do not need as much vitamins as we think that we do. So this is what I will do. Over the next few weeks, I will put out a series of these videos and these podcasts, which I will host on YouTube, and we will break down vitamins, and we will answer the questions that I asked in the introduction. We will break down vitamins into their two categories. They're fat soluble vitamins, and these are the vitamins A, D, E, and K. And then they're water soluble vitamins, which are your vitamin B's, which there are 8 total vitamin B's, such as your thiamine, your riboflavin, your vitamin B6, your ascorbic acid, and then your vitamin C. So there are 2 categories of vitamins. There are your water soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. Vitamin K is my favorite, and vitamin A. I love them all, but vitamin K is my favorite. I will have fun talking about that one. And then there's your water soluble vitamins, which are your 8 vitamin B's and your vitamin C. Now, a couple of things that I want to point out before we get into this series of breaking down these vitamins, which I will do on my next podcast. In the USA, we spend a huge amount of money on vitamins. Now, we do this for several reasons. Some people do this because they think it will help ward off certain ailments or sicknesses or diseases, such as, vitamin C for the common cold. So we think it cures certain conditions. That's one reason why we spend so much money on vitamins. Some people do it just as a backup. I'm not sure what we are backing up if we don't know what we are deficient in. And then one of the main reasons why a lot of people spend a lot of money on vitamins is because we do not eat well. Again, if we eat properly in most cases, in the case of a pregnant or lactating mother, your need for energy and vitamins is increased. If someone or elderly or senior citizens, your need for energy and vitamins are increased as well. And for our elderly, this is because we exercise less. We are moving less. So the body requires more, and then we're probably eating less. Or our body is not absorbing, our macronutrients in the food that we eat to use that for fuel as you would, as a younger person. As we get older, things change a little bit, and that may increase your need, for certain vitamins. You're probably more susceptible, to certain diseases. Your immune system is probably not as strong or resilient as, a younger, healthy person. But in most cases, if we eat properly, we make good, healthy food choices, again, like whole foods and fresh fruits and vegetables, and lean meat. If we make these healthy choices and we focus on our macronutrients or protein or carbohydrates and our fat, and we get those in the amounts that we need, which in most cases we need more carbohydrates than we need protein and fat. But in our society, we think we need more protein because we are exercising. But that's a whole different conversation, you guys. So we spend a lot of a lot of money, not in my opinion, but it is a fact that in this country we spend a lot of unnecessary money on vitamins more than we need to, instead of focusing on the foods that we eat, because the vitamins that we're taking in is actually just working with the food that we're eating to extract the fuel and the energy from that food to supply it to our body. So taking vitamin C by itself or vitamin A by itself is kind of pointless. And they work with each other. Most foods that you eat, everyone know that oranges provide vitamin C, and everyone know that, the sunshine provides, vitamin D. These are the things that we know, but we need to also understand how they work together in the body to give us the energy or the fuel that we need to go along, with our life. Studies have shown that there is actually very little widespread deficiency, nutrient deficiency, in our country. We are not as deficient in this country as we think that we are in nutrients, and most of us probably take too many vitamins. Most of us take unnecessary vitamins. In the conversation I had, a few weeks ago with, one of the persons that I interviewed in my podcast, and we were talking about just overall health and nutrition. She's studying nutrition, getting her PhD in nutrition. And one of the things that we talk about, before you start taking any kind of vitamins, you guys, you need to consult a healthcare provider. You don't want to just take, vitamin B6 and vitamin niacin and thiamine and riboflavin. You may be getting these in the food that you eat on a regular basis. And while most vitamins, are harmful, there are certain vitamins that can be toxic to the body if we consume them. And if you don't need it and you are already getting it in the food that you eat, why would you go out and spend money to possibly do more harm to your body? You go out and you talk to a healthcare provider, you get some blood work done. I do every year around this time of year. I did mine day before yesterday, around my birthday. I usually go and get a physical, get my blood work done, and I'm checking, my cholesterol and my iron. I want to see how my liver and my kidney and how my body's, flushing out the toxins and how my body's processing food. My blood pressure, my blood sugar levels. While I feel like I'm a fairly healthy person, I don't know exactly what's going on in my body. I am not a scientist and I'm not a doctor, and I consider myself to be a healthcare professional as I am a certified nutritionist. But I still do not know what's going on in my body. So I go out to a physician and I get a sample of my blood to test these things. And so I will know what I need to top off and what I need to, boost a little bit. One of the things that I do know is that I'm always deficient in iron. And one of the reasons I do not eat red meat, I do not eat meat. And I have other reasons, which I'll talk about at some point. I'm a woman, right? I'm always deficient in iron. My iron stores are not where they need to be, so I have to take an iron supplement. And there are times when I've done my blood work and it comes back and I'm okay, and I haven't been taking the vitamins, and that's fine. But there are times when I'm taking my my iron as I should, and I go do blood work and it comes back that it's just low. And I may need to increase my intake, my ferritin, which is my stores from my iron, which the body does store iron. But there's some vitamins that the body does not store, and you have to take, like folic acid. If you need to take, especially if you're pregnant and you need folic acid, to help reproduction and, to help prevent certain type of birth defects. You may need to take that on a daily basis as the body does not store it. And there's some that the body stores, and it can store it for, up to a year or so. And we don't need to consume as much of it, but just in, trace amounts. So, over the next few weeks, you guys, we will be just talking about vitamins, our fat soluble vitamins, our water soluble vitamins. We'll break down vitamins into the two categories, those two. We'll talk about the functions of certain vitamins. Does vitamin C actually really help to prevent the common cold? That is a question I will answer for you. Most people actually think so. There's some people who, or some science that may be out there to prove otherwise. But I will answer that question for you over the next few weeks as we break down vitamins. We'll talk about the food sources of certain vitamins. Again, we know we get vitamin A from carrot, beta carotene. We know that we get vitamin C from our citrus. And you may not know that you get vitamin C from your peppers, like your red bell peppers. You may not know that. You may not know that you even get some vitamin C from your green, leafy vegetables. But we will talk about that. We'll talk about dietary recommendations for certain vitamins. We'll talk about the toxicity and the deficiency, the implications of too much vitamins, or the implications of too little vitamins. So over the next few weeks, you guys, we will break down these vitamins. We will go into each one of them. And, if you have any questions, please feel free to, just reach out to me and, let me know if there's a particular vitamin that you have a particular question about. I am actually recording this for YouTube as well. So then you guys can go in and, leave a comment, and, say, oh, I want to talk about vitamin A first. I want to talk about vitamin C, or, does, vitamin C help to prevent the common cold? Does vitamin provide, energy? What food groups are the best? These are the questions that I will answer for you over my series of talking about vitamins in the next few weeks. One of the things that I know us Americans, or just people in general, always focus on, or the theory that we live by: if a little bit is good, then a lot is much better. That is not always the case with vitamins, you guys. There are some vitamins and even minerals, but we're talking about vitamins, that we need in very little amount. There's some vitamins that is stored in the body that we don't have to go out and kill every day and, take this exuberant amount of it. So that is not always true. There's certain things, a little bit is good, and that's it. Period. I guess that's how they say it. But period. A lot of these vitamins that we take, a little bit is good, exclamation mark, and that's it. It does not mean that we need to go out and, take 2,000 milligrams of folic acid because we're pregnant. Again, go to your healthcare provider and get some blood work done, and at least once a year find out what your body's doing, what you need to top off, what you need to, maybe you're getting enough in your food, so you will be fine. Does that mean whatever questions you would have? And that's my whole purpose of putting out this video, putting out this podcast. So as I go into talking about these vitamins, I may have some questions that you guys would have already asked that I can actually go in and answer for you while I do my podcast over the next few weeks, because it will be over the next few weeks, as I might put in an interview, here or there. So, one main fact to remember, you guys, vitamins themselves, just by themselves, does not provide energy. You need food. So you can't live off of taking supplementation. We need real food. We need to focus on our macronutrients, and that's when the vitamins just which is in a lot of this food that we eat. So supplementation is something that you may or may not need. And another fact to remember, you guys, stress, emotional, stress. That does not mean you have to go out and take, vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin K, because your body does not utilize or require more energy or more vitamins, when your body's experiencing that emotional stress. But it is quite different when your body is experiencing physical stress, such as an injury, or something like that. So thank you guys so very much. I look forward to this next series of podcasts that I will be putting out. I will actually start with my fat soluble vitamin. So we'll start with vitamin A. And if there's any questions you guys have, again, this will be on YouTube. Go ahead and, leave me a comment, and I will, as I prepare my notes for the next podcast, that I start with vitamin A and D, E, and K. If you have any questions, I will have those questions answered in my next podcast. Special thanks to those of you who have spent the time to subscribe to my podcast, you guys. It is available wherever you listen to podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. It's also on my blog at barrett.fitness. Anywhere you choose to, on the Google Play, you listen to podcasts. The name of my podcast is Get Your Ass Up and Move. It's a fitness and nutrition podcast. I am crazy about nutrition. While I think fitness is important, and most of my videos that I put out there are, me working out and doing my push-ups and my jump rope and so forth. But most of my podcasts, if you guys notice, we're talking about overall health and nutrition, because in my opinion, if we have to choose one, nutrition would be slightly on top of the list. And then, fitness and exercise will come below. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, this will be on YouTube. And you guys just leave your comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Barrett Fitness and Nutrition. I thank you guys so very much for tuning in to yet another podcast. And I look forward to your questions and your comments. And I look forward to this series as we talk about vitamins. So until next time, you guys,